But people are going to be furious, though. People are going to be furious. They didn't mind the change with the 45p rate because they say, well, that doesn't affect us, so we don't mind that. That's fair enough. Small businesses have now lost what they're going to have that 6% rise in business rates, corporation tax, whatever it was, and now everybody else is losing their 1p benefit on income tax. People are going to be absolutely livid.
Yes, and but that's not. But the indications we're getting, based on Jeremy Hunt's sort of morning media around yesterday morning, is that that's not actually where it's all going to end. There's also potential talk of spending cuts, so across departments, public spending cuts, because then there's to fill the £72 billion black hole, the infamous black hole, which has dominated politics for the last few weeks. So, yeah, I agree with you that people are going to be furious, and unfortunately, I don't think it's going to end there. But, across the papers today, and you saw this in speculation yesterday amongst political journalists, Jeremy Hunt now, as the Times allude to, is very much seen to be in the driving seat in government, and what can Liz Truss do? Yeah. Really, what can Liz Truss do?
I mean, it does, Marianne, leave very big questions about Liz Truss's future, because the whole remit, not just about cutting taxes, the sort of reality to us, but it was about ripping up the Treasury orthodoxy.
Yeah.
Not about sorting out the black hole before you do something, but getting on with it and stimulating growth. So that
and
whole
this idea of rejecting the fact that was kind of accepted, orthodoxy, of kind of a managed decline.
But that's completely out the window now.
Yeah, that's the thing. And you're right, this kind of headline idea of the 1p on income tax, when it's coming in, when it's not going to happen. The reality is that the greater impact on people's day-to-day lives are interest rates and inflation rates. And those are fundamentally tied to whether the money markets, the economy, all those businesses, all those investors are confident or not in how well the country is being run, whether they have a certainty about whether they can invest in UK PLC. And when you get that really rocky, unstable response in the money markets, what you get is the dropping pound. You get businesses that are reliant on import-export of trade and goods just going, we can't afford to keep in business. And you've got all those small businesses and people who are working for themselves and, you taking your car to the petrol pump or kind of looking at how far your money can stretch when you do your weekly shop. That's the stuff that's really going to hurt and was hurting before. And the thing is, regardless of what happens here, whether it's Jeremy Hunt in the driving seat, who is kind of doing the kind of the circling of knives around the wounded Prime Minister. It's all this kind of talk of, animals and hunting. Fundamentally, I still get the sense that the Conservative Party are thinking about their own backs. What can we do in order to avoid a kind of a political catastrophe, a kind of a party catastrophe? What can we do to avoid losing the general election? And fundamentally, I really, really want them to wake up and go, actually, it's not about party politics. At this point, the boat is so rocky and people are so worried and the markets are so worried. We actually need someone to go, what's best for the country, not what's best for our gang.
Yeah, but they all do that, don't they? I mean, the Labour Party saying nothing but we want a general election right now for the past few weeks.
Yeah, I just think it's exactly appalling. Fundamentally, I want them to just go, can we all sit down together? I know this is pie in the sky thinking, but wouldn't it be nice if they all sat down and said, who's got a good idea? Let's really interrogate it. Let's talk to the Bank of England. Let's talk to the Office for Budget Responsibility, because what they say really does matter. Even if you don't agree with it, the markets are listening. And fundamentally, that's the kind of piece in the puzzle that just doesn't seem to have clicked yet. It's still about who's going to get power.